Good morning, stamping friends. How are you guys doing today? My name is Lorri Heiling, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm super excited to share with you today. Now, as I previously mentioned, I have a surprise for you. My friend Joey Hartman and I are partnering, and we are going to bring to you 6 weeks of birthday cards. And so today is kind of the kickoff here, and so I'm going to share Joey's project. She's going to start off the series, and then my turn will be next week, and I'll design that project. For you to receive the PDF, you just have to sign up for my newsletter, and I'm going to put that link in the kind of the comment area. And so if you sign up for that, you can have the PDF tutorial for free for signing up for my newsletter. All right, one more thing I want to share with you is today is February 28th, which is the last day of celebration. So if there's anything that you didn't grab yet, today is the day to do it. Now, don't wait until like 11 or 12 a.m. is actually the deadline, so you need to put your order in. But sometimes towards the end of the day, it starts to get busy and crazy with the computer system. So I recommend doing this earlier rather than later, just in case we overhaul the computer system. And also, the best deal of all is buying that starter kit. You can purchase for only $99. You can get $175 worth of any products that you see in a current catalog. Now, if that choice doesn't suit your fancy, then you might want to try the $120 or $129 option, and you can choose still $175 worth of products, but they will throw in the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I like to just call it the mini machine. It's less words, and you can get that in white or boho blue, which is a new in color that will be in our next annual catalog. So be sure to take advantage of this. After today, it goes back to the $99 and you choose $125 worth of products. So you get a much better deal on this. Now remember, if you sign up to be a demonstrator or purchase the starter kit, that does not mean that you have to do all these videos and classes and all that. It basically means kind of like a Costco membership. You just are buying at a discount. So if you're buying stamping supplies anyway, you might as well get a discount on your products. I would love to have you join my team, so I will also put that link. And if you have any questions, just let me know, and I would be happy to answer those for you. All right, let's start with today's project. So let me turn my camera around and let's get started. I'm excited to share with you the first of our 6-week series of birthdays. And remember, I am partnering with Joey Hartman on this. So she's creating half of them, and so am I. And today's project starts out with one that she came up with. You're going to love this. It's so creative and really thinking outside of the box. All right, let's start with today's project. We are both using the stamp set Friendly Gnomes for our first project. So this week and next week will be this stamp set. And you guys know I love the stamp set. I love the one that was in the mini catalog that was Christmas related. Well, Stampin' Up! Came out with a second one that actually matches the shape of the other dies or the other stamp set that we have. And there are dies that are available for this. However, they aren't in the catalog because they carried over from the holiday one. So the spring one was already printed. So I'm going to put the code so that you can know how to order the gnome dies in case you're interested in that. So Friendly Gnomes is what we're working with. The first thing we're going to do is cut out with the Pretty Pillow Box dies, and I cut this for you already. This is Tahitian Tide, and it's called Pretty Pillow Box, and it makes kind of like a little 3D thing, but you'll be surprised at what we're going to do with this. It's so cute. Okay, so we're starting with that, and then I took the same die, and I'm going to show you what I did. This is what the die looks like. So just cut 2 of these out, and then this one is from our Brights 6x6 paper, and I'm going to show you where I placed this. I actually cut it out upside down like this because I want the top of it to go right where this little score line is. We're going to make that a cut there. So I just put the edge of the Designer Series paper there, and then I just cut it out. And this is, again, from the 6x6 Brights Designer Series paper, and this is the Daffodil Delight one. We have our cutting done. Let's just set this to the side, and we're going to work on the gnome now. So I just have some basic white paper here, and let's grab the gnome stamp that we're going to work with. This is the one that has a little girl with the braids, and there's a little flower on her hat. So just grab Memento Black ink. We're going to ink that up. And the other one we're going to use is the balloon stamp. So do the same thing. Ink it up and just stamp that on scrap. Now we're going to color these little guys in. And so let me grab the pens that we're going to use. I have Tahitian Tide. I have Basic Black Light. I know it looks gray on here, but it's actually light. Petal Pink Light, and then Polished Pink Dark, and Daffodil Dark. So those are the colors. And let's start coloring. All right, let's set these to the side, and now we're going to go back to our card front. And when you look at this, I'm not sure if you can see it here, but there's little score lines here, and the one that's kind of halfway in between, we just want to make a little bit of a fold there so that we can see where we want to cut. And take your scissors. When I cut out big slices, I like to use my heavy-duty scissors, but paper snips will work. And Stampin' Up! Used to sell these years ago, but I sure wish they'd bring them back because I use these a lot. Just cut on that score line so it's straight across. And then we are going to adhere this to kind of the front of our card. So just match this up with the front of your pillow box, and you'll be able to match up that line with that score line that we just cut on. And I'm just going to grab my multi-purpose liquid glue. That'll work fine. You can use whatever adhesive you like if you prefer the Seal Plus or the Seal. My favorite for that type of tape is the Seal Plus. Okay, so just line up so your edges are the same. Okay, now we're going to fold on that score line that is also on the Tahitian Tide, like that. Now what we're going to do with this piece is take this, and it's going to match the back side of this. So here's the front side, here's the back. We're going to adhere it right here, like that. So we'll do the same thing, just line up those edges. There you go. Now, this is eventually going to go on here. So we're going to fold this one forward, and we are going to make it fit like this. And what's going to happen in between is this is going to be a gift card holder. Now, to adhere these, we're going to put glue on the back side of here, but we only want to go up about halfway up this little arc and do the thinnest line that you can, about like that, because we want the gift card to be able to slip in and out easily on this. So just adhere this to this piece, and then just fold it in half, and that way you can make sure all this is lined up together, and including the top of this. I forgot to mention, when you die cut this, there's a second die that has these two little dots in, because we're going to want to tie this shut. So make sure that you stick that little piece. It's just a little piece that goes right in here and fits along that scalloped, and it'll just put those dots in. All right, I think that looks good. Now we're going to set this aside again. We're going to decorate the front with our little gnome and add some more pieces. The first thing you're going to want to do is take a piece of Granny Apple Green cardstock, and this is about 5 inches by 3/4 of an inch. And what you're going to do is grab whatever die you have. In this case, I have the scalloped contour dies, and there's a cute little edge with even some stitching lines. Now, Joey, in her tutorial, you will read that she used Penned Flowers dies, but I didn't have that one. So sometimes you have to substitute with what you have. So what I did was I put this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I just laid this just kind of close to this edge and then die cut. And I did this for you already. So this is what comes out. And this is going to go on the front of the card like this. And this is long enough that these edges will not show, and we are just going to lay it on the card front, and I'm going to just put a little string of glue here, and this is going to kind of make the grass that the little gnome is going to stand in. So just line up the edges on the bottom again and hold that down until it catches, and then you're going to take your paper snips and just trim by following the Tahitian Tide die cut that you already made so it matches like that. Just make a little arc there, and then do the same on this side. Whoops, this one's a little bit hard. Well, I was gonna say I'm left-handed, but you can see that I cut out with my right hand. Interesting. Does that make me ambidextrous? And there's one little piece in there I gotta get. All right, that's pretty good. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is use our Stylish Shapes dies, and we are going to cut out a vellum circle, and this is about, let's see, 2 5/8 inches in diameter. And this is going to be going on the front of the card. However, before we do that, we're going to put the little gnome on here. So we'll grab her and let's use some dimensionals and pop her up. And there's a reason that we put the gnome on first. I'll show you in just a second. So place this on here, kind of in the center, I guess. And then the reason that we wanted to do that first is because we also want to pop the vellum. And so if you look on the back, you just want to make sure that your dimensionals are in line with this and not outside the gnome's edge, obviously, because we do not want to see the dimensionals, you know, through the see-through vellum. So just add 2 more dimensionals here. And we like to give our projects a little pop to give it added dimension. All right, let's put that right about, I'm gonna offset it a little bit, not quite in the center, like this. Okay, then the next thing we're gonna do, we are gonna take a little sprig of grass. This is also from the gnome die, and I use Granny Apple Green again, and just put a little bit of glue on the back. And let's set this right next to the little gnome and just tuck it behind her. And we'll go about like that. All right. Now we're gonna put the balloon on, and what we're gonna do is just put a dimensional behind this. And we'll stick this just kind of to the side of her. Make sure the little string is in her hand and right about here. And I do want to add a little glue dot because this is going to, you know, kind of stand up a little bit. So all you have to do is take your pick tool and put a little glue dot on there, and then just kind of pinch it so it gets smaller. And then it will go, actually we want it super small, so just pinch it all around and then put it on the back of this. And by pinching it, it won't be that round circle, but it'll be kind of a oblong, and then you won't see it from the front. There we go, now it's glued down. Now before we seal this shut with the ribbon at the top, we are going to decorate the inside of this. So you're going to want to take basic white cardstock and die cut with the same die set, stitch circles. And this one is one smaller than the previous one we used. It's about 2 1/8. And then this is where we're going to add our birthday sentiment. So I'm going to use Memento black ink and just kind of center this on the circle. All right, and then we are going to adhere this to the inside. So let's grab a couple more dimensionals here. I'm not going to put them towards the top of this because it's going to stick up a little bit higher than the gift card holder. And just place that right smack in the middle. Now we're going to add a little bit of interest to this too. In with the pretty pillow box die set, there are 2 cute little flowers in there. I'm going to grab my silicone mat. I don't want to get glue on my background. And just take a tiny little dot of liquid glue, and let's glue these 2 together, and we're going to offset them just a tiny bit. Oh, my nails match that pretty well. Like this. And we are going to place this right about here. So I think 1 glue dot. Let me get my little tweezer. It's easier to handle things when you use that. And also, let me grab my glue dots. The multi-purpose liquid glue is also good for grabbing glue dots off your roll, and just put that right in the center like this. And now we're going to offset that right in this little space here. And I can see that my glue moved a little bit, so let's offset that a little bit. It makes the flower a little bit more full like that. Okay, whoopsie, a little bit more. Okay, hold that down so it doesn't move again. Okay, that looks good. Now we need to add some little embellishments. So these are our classic matte dots. And what's really nice about these, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors. We have white and very vanilla, gray, and black. Let me get this out of the package. The nice thing is we can recolor these with our blends, so we can make these any color. This is a little gem in our catalog that people don't maybe realize, because you think, oh, all these neutrals, but the whites, I hardly ever use it as white. I always color them in. So of course we're going to do one of them in Daffodil Delight. So just take your blends and go around and around. And I usually like to use the brush end, but this, oh, I guess I do have some ink left in there. It just kind of grabs in kind of the creases a little bit better. All right, you for sure want you to take your pick tool on these, slide it off, and just put it right in the center. See how these matte dots can make any color you're working with match. Now we're going to add some on the front as well. So we need another yellow one. So let me do 2 of these. Whoops, let me use the brush end again. It just seems to get in there better. All right, and then while I'm at it, I'm just going to do a couple of the pink ones, because I know we want polished pink to put in a couple other areas. So let's just color them all at the same time. All right. Now we'll add the yellow one to the center of this flower. And we're going to add the pink ones, which, you know what, these are kind of rubbing off a little bit. Let me do one more coat of these. All right, and we're gonna go 1 right up here and 1 right down here. Whoops. All right, now I think we can tie this, but I want to show you how the gift card fits inside here. So all you do is separate those 2 centers and slide it down. Isn't that nice? It fits perfectly in there. Oh, I love this. And now the final touch is just wrapping it up, and we're gonna bring in the gingham black and white checkered ribbon, and this goes well with everything. If you want to make it even more matchy, you can color this ribbon with blends, but I just want to do the black and white this time. You want to make or keep it long enough, because this is definitely something that your recipient will tie and untie, because they'll have to untie it to get into the gift card. But if they want to save it and, I don't know, set it by their computer and look at it, then you're going to need the ends long so that they can redo it. One time I cut these way short so it would look cute on the finished product and a little bit more trim, but then you couldn't retie it because these were too short. All right, here's a good example. See how I don't like how it's cockeyed to the right? So I just untie it, and I'm going to tie the bow the opposite way. What I mean by is normally I go like this and do my bow, but because it's turning out cockeyed, that means I need to go the other way. So I just go forward instead of back, and it should lie pretty flat. Whoops, let me start over again. Sometimes nails get in the way of our tying bows, but that's all right. There, see how it lies flat now? And then you can kind of putz with it a little bit. All right, now let me trim them down just a little bit. They don't need to be quite that long, but long enough that you can retie them. And then I also like to make sure the ends are going the same way. All right, there you have our finished product. project, I should say. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love it. Well, thank you, Joey, for coming up with this darling little gift card holder. And again, if you would like the written PDF, I will send that to you if you're on my newsletter. So make sure you subscribe in the next couple days because I'm going to be mailing this out. And I hope you join us next week where I will share with you the project that I create, making the birthday card with the Friendly Gnome set. You guys take care, and don't forget to take advantage of the starter kit. This offer expires today where you get the extra bonus products thrown in with the starter kit. And also, I always put my host code up here. If you order at least $50 on a regular order and you use the host code, I will send you a Stampin' Up! Treat in the mail, which is product and a thank you card. And I would so appreciate that. All right, thanks again, and we will see you next week, Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Arizona time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.